I call the Honourable Member Carol Beaumont.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. It's a pleasure to rise and speak in support of the third reading of the Electoral Administration Amendment Bill number 2. And as the previous member said, I am a member of the Select Committee that this bill emerged from. It's interesting, I listened closely to what the chair of our Select Committee, Chester Burrows, said, and actually, interestingly enough, I probably could give exactly the same speech word for word, because this is not a controversial bill. We actually all support it, and you might argue that if it's not controversial, maybe there's nothing very significant in here, but that couldn't be further from the truth. And the reality is that this piece of legislation is about improving and strengthening our electoral system, and it has done that, I think, by establishing the Electoral Commission and bringing together a number of agencies into one format to streamline and strengthen our electoral system. And as others have said, this is of fundamental importance. One thing across the House we can agree in is that we want to have an effective democracy, that we are a stronger country for having an effective democracy, and that our electoral processes are robust, transparent and corruption-free, or generally speaking they are so, and compared to many countries around the world that is certainly the case. So anything that improves our electoral system should be something that members from both or all parts of the House agree on, and as is the case with this. I just wanted to not go into detail on the bill, but just to make a couple of points, given the proximity of this debate to our election on November the 26th. And one of the things I think we have a responsibility to do as members of Parliament is to ensure that our enrolment processes are something that we actively support and that we are actively out there participating in ourselves, ensuring that New Zealanders are on the electoral roll as they are required to be, but are too often not, so that they can have their say in the election and that that say is counted. And while it is true that we have achieved enrolment rates of around 95% under our current system, it is often, I think, an overstatement. People who are door knocking and talking to people will see that often there are many people in a house who no longer live there, and of course our continuous enrolment system means that often they do not come off unless directly notified. So, Mr Speaker, just to conclude, I would say, as others, that we support this bill wholeheartedly and look forward to the further development of our online processes of enrolment.